Good morning. My name is Michael R. Roser, and I am co-founder and strategic coach for strategiclifecoaching.com. And I would love for you guys to come and visit us at abundantlifeslc.com. Over the past months and weeks, I've been talking about how to get one's life in balance. And I believe if our lives are in balance, we have a better chance at being happy and a better chance at being serene and living abundantly, not only for ourselves, but the people around us, our loved ones. And I've been getting into some conversations with friends and family and followers of my website about this difference between philosophy and religion. And I almost think, like, really? Do we really need to debate this? They're pretty significantly different. And one is not better than the other. At least that's what I believe. And so in order to get us on the same stance, if you will, I thought I'd read a couple of definitions for you, one on philosophy and one on religion, to kind of get us started. So philosophy is the rational investigation of the truths and principles of being, living, knowledge, or conduct. Not terribly helpful. It goes on. Any one of the three branches, namely natural, moral, metaphysical, that are composing the study. A system or doctrine, a critical study of the basic principles and concepts of a branch of knowledge, and this part I really like, with the view of improving or reconstructing them. A philosophical attitude is one of composure and calmness. I like that a lot. A philosopher is a person who offers his or her views or theories on profound questions in ethics, metaphysics, logic, and other related fields. A person who regulates his or her life, actions, judgments, utterances by the light of reason, especially under trying circumstances. So we experience this in our daily lives as logic or reason. And I love it because it talks about daily activities, it talks about regulation, and it talks about attitudes. All of that, I believe, one needs to be disciplined at in order to live a useful, happy, abundant life. Religion, on the other hand, is concern over what exists beyond the visible world, differentiated from philosophy in that it operates through faith or intuition rather than reason, and generally including the idea of an existence of a single being, a group of beings, an eternal principle, or a transcendent spiritual entity that has created the world, that governs it, that controls its destiny, or intervenes occasionally in the natural course of its history. It involves rituals such as prayer, spiritual exercises, certain principles of everyday conduct that are spiritually rewarding. A body of persons adhering to a common set of beliefs. We experience this in our daily lives as emotion or intuition. Now, I really started to understand as I read this and studied it and explored it why my ex-wife and I had trouble communicating from time to time. Lots of love there, but we didn't like each other quite a bit. And the reason for that is plain now to me, that my ex-wife, Anna, approached life by logic and reason, by principles, and she applied those in her daily life and was very principled towards them. Where I was more of emotion and intuition, and I could buy something at the drop of a hat if it felt good and so on, and logic and reason were there, but one clearly overrode the other. And I don't know if any of you are as old as I am and remember Star Trek, but this was brought to light to me as I was thinking about this in those old that old sitcom where Dr. Spock, his entire life was dictated by logic and reason. And his partner in debate, good old Dr. McCoy, who I could see him right now inside of me, was emotion and intuition. And Captain Kirk was the guy in the middle that was trying to take the best parts of both of them and formulate a balanced and well thought out decision to move in a course of action. And so what I'm suggesting to me and to you guys is that one exclusive of the other has some problems. So if I'm dictated by logic and reason only, then I'm going to be overthinking things. It might lead to me to say, well, if I find the right workout club and I do all of the research of every single workout club in the area and their cost and their benefits and who their staff is and so on and so on and so on, I might get analysis by paralysis, as I like to call it. And if I go off half-cocked and I rely on emotion and intuition exclusively, then I might join a club to find out that it goes bankrupt in a couple of months because it wasn't a very good club. It looked nice, but it didn't have what I thought it did. Or I might make financial decisions on the spur of the moment, not thinking them all the way through, and so on. And so my suggestion is that we all look at every phase of our life and use both of those, I guess, to be Captain Kirk. So I'm going to use logic and reason to a point that it doesn't paralyze me, but I'm going to think matters through, where I'm going to work out. I'm going to plan my diet out for the week. I'm going to count my calories. I'm going to take my blood pressure. I'm going to log this stuff in and keep track of it and monitor it. But at the same time, I want to be able to use my intuition and to develop my intuition so that I can be a little bit more flexible and not so rigid, and I can control my emotions and I can use my emotions for growth. And that intuition might lead me to make some changes in my life and motivate me to make some changes in my life, knowing that logic and reason isn't working. I mean, that's the acid test for me. My emotion, which was getting out of control, and my intuition were not helping me because I didn't have things planned out in an orderly, metered way, so I couldn't get started. People that operate by logic and reason can't get started sometimes because they're afraid to take that step because they may not have researched it enough. They're so afraid of making a bad decision that they can't get going. So hopefully you can see, as I did, that using both of them and enhancing both of those skills is going to lead me to live an abundant life. And usually opposites attract, and my fiance now is a logic and reason individual, just like my ex was, and I am very emotional and very intuitive, as I've always have been. But by starting to write these things down and starting to approach this from a more of a task orientation, I'm having a lot more success. And the people around me are having more success too, because they're not having to bail me out of decisions where I went off half-cocked. So I hope this is helpful for you, as it was for me. And I guess let's be Captain Kirk. Take care now. Bye-bye.